I'm Michael T. Brown.
And welcome to Entrepreneur 101, inspiring entrepreneurs to rise, innovate, and create lasting impact. Well, this is our first episode, and we are so happy that once again 101, another 101 people. Entrepreneur 101. And of course, I'm Daniel Lucas. I am the host of a lots of podcasts. Food 101, Food 101, name it, and I had it all. And of course, my legendary co-host, Mr. Michael. Can you please introduce more about yourself?
Daniel, it's great to be with you. I'm so excited to join you on this podcast. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a therapist, I'm a leader, but really I'm a person who shows up as a servant and look forward to serving the people. Good information, good tools, good strategies, and excited to have a great host to partner with like you, Daniel.
Yes, and we need to congratulate each other, Mr. Michael, for a new venture, new podcast, and I hope it will be successful, just like my Book 101 review. Please do listen to my Book 101 review. It's available where you listen your podcast. It's 1.5% popular show globally, and I hope our Entrepreneur 101 will be like that too. So, Mr. Michael, our first episode, we will talk about how mindset shapes every business decision. So, tell us, what is this all about?
You know, Daniel, I think you chose the right launch pad when you talk about mindset. You know, the body follows the mind. The
Yes.
body responds to what the mind tells it to do. So if you think about someone who has an idea or has a creative idea about starting a business, once they get the right mental framework, the right mindset, then the rest can begin to fall into place. Thoughts impact results. And we want to be able to pour into people tools and strategies to help them sharpen their mindset so that they can get the results they seek.
Yes, what a nice thought, Mr. Michael. And tell us, how would you define the founder's mindset or CEO's mindset, and in what specific ways does it act as the invisible compass for every strategic choice, just like yours?
I think the entrepreneur's mindset starts with a vision. It starts with a purpose, a sense of passion. You know, I've heard it put, Daniel, that by the time we see a picture, that's always a copy because the initial picture is taken in the mind of the artist. So if you think about someone who has a business idea and they want to bring that idea to the marketplace, it starts with a vision. It starts with an idea. It starts with a passion and a burning. So I think the entrepreneur is a visionary. They see a need and it needs to be met. And they believe they're the person, right, who can help meet that need. And when needs get met, money becomes less of an issue. Money tends to follow that person because the needs getting met and it's getting met the right way.
Indeed. And Mr. Michael, what's a common scarcity mindset trap that holds small businesses back, and what does its abundant mindset alternative look like in a practice?
You know, scarcity mindset, in many ways, I think deals with insecurities and deals with fear. Abundance mindset is about just that abundance and adding value to people. So, in order to have that visionary mindset, it's so important that the entrepreneur take a look at some of their experiences and ask themselves, where do they see themselves on that scale? Do they have a scarcity mindset or do they have an abundance mindset? The good news is that if there is a scarcity mindset, there are some strategies, there are some tools that can help shift that person from scarcity into abundance. One key ingredient I think that shifts us from scarcity into abundance is faith. In order to get the fruit, we need to be willing to step out on a limb. That's where
Mm.
the fruit is, Daniel. It's out on the limb. Think about the venture that you're launching, right? With your podcasts that you've been able to develop and put out into the public sphere. You had the vision, but ultimately you had to step out on faith. You had to take action. And it's okay, right, to not have all the answers.
Mhm.
What's not okay is not trying. So scarcity to abundance deals with faith, it deals with faith in action. And it's about understanding that that person has something that they need to contribute.
To contribute indeed, to have this legacy to the world. And Mr. Michael, how does a leader's core belief about human nature, whether people are fundamentally trustworthy or not, shape their policies on hiring, delegation, and oversight?
That goes right back to the mindset. If we view people as just inherently untrustworthy, then it's going to be hard to take the necessary risks. It's okay to take calculated risks, but it's in order to do that, right? We need to have a good sense of people. At the core of any strong business are people. And when we understand that, we need to develop leaders. We need to spend time. We need to build what I call a ladder of leadership. A ladder of leadership understands that regardless to where you are in the hierarchy of a company, you extend the ladder to bring other people up. And the only way we can do that is if we build trust. And trust is built through time, through communication, through having tough conversations sometimes. But that's what leadership is about in many ways, right? Being willing to do the tough things if we want the results connected to it.
Mr. Michael, how does leaders' core belief about human nature, whether people are fundamentally trustworthy or not, shape their policies on
So,
hiring or something else?
yeah, so back to your initial question, I'm glad you reiterated that question because
Hmm.
when you think about policies and procedures, if we inherently believe that there's good in people, then we should set up policies that affirm them, that strengthen them, that are pro family, that ultimately creates an environment where we do see the good in people. But in order to
Hmm.
do that, we need to spend time building relationships. We need to realize that the success of a company is so connected to your hiring practices because you want to hire people that align with your values, that aligns with the principles, that aligns with the goals you want to set. So the hiring process is an opportunity to navigate and screen out the type people that you want on your team because the team is only going to go as far as its players. And the policies aligned with that team, there needs to be a sense of investment there, a sense of understanding that policies ultimately should support people. When the policies and the people line up, the product tends to flourish, success tends to follow, money tends to follow.
Indeed. And on the mindset, in action, and decision making. Mr. Michael, how does a problem oriented mindset lead to a completely different decision than opportunity focused mindset when facing the same market challenge?
Problem versus opportunity. Wow, that's really good. Some people view situations just as problems.
Hmm.
That's more of a fixed mindset. A growth mindset sees the opportunity in it. Somebody can be riding down the street right now and saying, you know what? It's really a problem that we don't have a coffee shop in this area. Another person rides down the street and says, "Man, what an opportunity! Because there's no coffee shop in this area, I can solve that problem."
Yeah.
Same street,
Mm-hmm.
same challenge, different mindset. And I encourage whoever's listening, you see a problem, think about the opportunity. Think about a way to meet that need. Good things flow when we meet needs.
Yes. Create something. Create something that will benefit people all over the world, and it will give you from generation to generations to come. They will remember that invention or whatever you will share to the world. When considering a new investment, Mr. Michael, how does a mindset fear versus a mindset out conviction after the risk calculus?
No risk, no reward.
Yes.
And it's okay to take a calculated risk. That's where you want to do your research. Some things should be fearful if we haven't put the time in and study the landscape, study the opportunity. Then the fear can start to shift to conviction. Conviction deals with purpose and passion and energy. And once you've checked all the boxes, as much as possible anyway, you can feel good about taking that calculated risk because you've done your homework. It's still a risk, but the reward is on the other side of that risk. So, what do we do with the fear? I think we drown it out. We tune it out. We let our faith take over our fear. And the only way we do that is by putting that faith in action, doing our homework, stepping out, and realizing that, uh, once again, value added will put value in your pockets. When we add value to people, money tends to flow. And we don't have to chase money. Money will tend to find you.
Money will find you. I like that, Mr. Michael. I hope our money will find us. How does how does the mindset, our brand is our most valuable asset, translate into specific daily decision that the company with our product is our only asset mindset would never make?
I like the idea of branding. I think when I think of branding, sometimes
Hmm.
I think in our modern society, that word branding can take a bit of a hit. It can kind of come across as very just stylistic or a cliche or, you know, not very substantive sometimes the way people use it. But if you look at it from this point, a brand is really just a reflection, right? It's a brand tells you about something. It's like it's symbolic in a way. So if you think about what brand we want to present to the world, at its core needs to be strong character. When you think about great businesses and you think about their branding, the branding should align with the experience that we have, with the people that touch us as a part of that company. And the only way we touch people in good ways, I believe, is by having good character. Character driven business. The branding will follow that. It should follow that. If the branding comes before the character, then that's more smoke and mirrors. That's wishful thinking. Those companies tend not to stick around very long. The reviews don't usually land very well. But when we show up for people, when we're building good character, when we have the right core principles and values within that company, the branding in many ways will take care of itself.
The branding, indeed. That's what I'm doing to create a brand that lasting, and it will be my legacy to the world. 101. So, Mr. Michael, in a crisis, protect the institution at all cost mindset leads to one set action. While I protect our people and principles, mindset leads to another. Can you illustrate this is with an example?
Great question. You know, people and principles over protect the institution. You know, people come first. When we lead with people at the heart of what we do, when we realize we're serving the needs of people and we have the right principles, then we end up getting the right results. If we're just trying to protect an institution, that's more image driven. But again, image will take care of itself when we take care of people. So at the heart of great businesses, they understand, meet the needs of their clients, meet the needs of their customers, have the right principles, have the right values. So anybody who's setting up a business, right?
Hmm.
I think it's so important that they have it mapped out. What's our mission? What's our vision? Write it out, make it plain. Let that guide your hiring practices. Let that guide when difficulty and adversity comes. Think about COVID, right? I think that's a good example.
Yes.
Some businesses, unfortunately, right, did not survive. And some of those situations, right, was just unfortunate, and it was really no fault of their own. But other businesses were able to shift. They were resilient. They were nimble. In many ways, because they had the right principles. Flexibility is a great principle. How can we still meet the needs of people in a different way? Creativity. How can we do it differently? How can we still meet the needs of people and keep our core mission and our core value? If we're just trying to do the same things the same old way, those institutions tend to fall by the wayside. But when we keep at the heart, how do I serve people? How do I meet the needs of people? How can I be creative? How can I elicit help? Who can I partner with? Do I need a mentor? How do I continue to learn and grow and develop? Great entrepreneurs, great leaders are lifelong learners. That's a core principle that will help us navigate crisis, help us navigate difficulty, not just in business, but in life.
Mr. Michael, overcoming limiting mindsets. What are the telltale signs or signs that one's useful mindset has now become a limiting belief that is holding the company back?
I think one way to identify limiting mindset is in the results. If we're not reaching our results, then we need to go back and deal with the thoughts that led to those decisions. Thoughts impact emotions, emotions impact behavior, behavior impacts results. Thoughts, feelings, behavior impacts results. So we challenge those thoughts.
Mm.
Challenge the thoughts that says, our business must run this way. We've always done it this way. That might be limiting growth. It, thinking that only certain people can do certain things. Closing the door to leadership, not opening up for other people, opening up opportunities for other people to grow. That's a limiting mindset. There are people oftentimes who've been studying what's going on within the business. And if you give them a voice, they can tell you where a lot of the problems lie. They can tell you things that happen on the ground level that might be impacting the bottom line. Those limiting beliefs need to be challenged. They need to be changed. That's what we do with thoughts and beliefs that don't get us where we want to be. We must challenge those thoughts, change those thoughts, and then ultimately choose a healthier thought.
A healthier thought, definitely. And Mr. Michael, on the bigger picture, if a mindset shapes every decision, how does ultimately shape the company's brand and how it's perceived by customers and the market?
I think it's so important to talk to the customers. Ask them how they view the company. Ask them how they how they're being delivered, how things are being delivered to them. So open the communication up, open the lines of communication up. Reviews are great online, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
notice, Daniel, I don't know if you've noticed, but I certainly have. When I'm looking for somebody to do business with, the reviews matter,
Yes.
and that deals with even if a company doesn't have the greatest review. Oftentimes, you'll notice they are responsive to that unpleasant review. Sir, ma'am, so unfortunate you had this experience. Come in and let's see if we can fix this problem. Maybe you've experienced it at the restaurant. You didn't get the greatest steak, and the manager wanted to make it right for you. He or she came to you and wanted to make it right. I think that's a core principle and a core value that helps great companies, helps great people turn the corner and get the results they seek. They don't bank on the fact that they had good reviews. They realize that the next customer is important as well. We can't live in the past. We need to continue to show up on a regular basis and deliver the services that we need. So that I think, really helps position the company and the individuals to thrive and to succeed. Communicating, navigating, and problem solving.
And what is the single most important mindset shift a leader can make today to future proof their business and decision making, Mr. Michael?
I say stay relevant, stay up on the cutting, stay up on where things are heading. We need to stay in the present, but we need to be also thinking about the future. Take AI, for example, right? Some
Hmm.
people may be really fighting this tooth and nail, and I get it, but that's where we're heading in a lot of ways. Businesses who understand how can I incorporate the new with still connected with the same old values and principles that's gotten us this far. So I say stay relevant, keep an abundance mindset, keep learning, keep growing, keep thinking about how to meet the needs of the people you serve.
Yes, and ultimately, Mr. Michael, if we could leave every leader with one core belief to adopt about the power of mindset, what would it be?
It would be believe. We can afford to lose a lot of things in life, Daniel. Some things are going to leave us, some things we're going to leave it. One thing I don't think we can afford to lose is our belief that we can succeed, belief that we're enough, belief that our ideas can come to fruition. When you believe, you care. When you care, you won't quit. So, belief, feed the belief, nurture the belief, pour gasoline on the belief so that it can grow. And ultimately, that belief will lead to results. I really like the quote. It says, um, the spiritual teaching, all things are possible to those who believe. It didn't say all things are possible to those who think or those who wish. Thoughts and wishes are important, but belief helps dominate, it helps drive, it helps keep us focused. So find the purpose, find the passion in what you're doing, and don't stop believing.
Mr. Michael, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Yes, people, mindset is a silent architect for every business decision, the invisible compass that guides a company's path. It operates not in the boardroom presentations, but in the unspoken assumption and belief that precede them. A scarcity mindset sees competitor and plots a defensive price war, while abundance mindset sees the same revival and invests a breakthrough innovation. A fixed mindset interprets a product failure as a final verdict, burying the lessons, while growth mindset treats it a vital data point, fueling the next iteration. Mr. Michael, thank you so much once again. Another great episode on Entrepreneur 101, and hoping for our second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, or 1,000 episodes. Would you like to please invite someone or plug your book?
Well, thank you again for having me, Daniel. I look forward to future episodes. And yes, people can find me at brownsleadership.com or at mtbrown98 on X, or they can even Google my name and find me there. But it's all about Entrepreneur 101 moving forward. Look forward to many more great episodes. Thank you, Dan.
Definitely. More to come, people. See you soon.